hopefully folks were watching the debate online and or in the balcony and following along on this. Ultimately, I think the vote today kind of reflected some of what we thought. It was really close. It seemed like it was not a party line vote, but more of a rural versus urban suburban vote. A lot of the no votes that came from the Republican Party seemed like they were representatives that live in the rural areas, that represent rural communities, that just have a completely different view on the idea of school vouchers and privatizing of education.
I was surprised. There was, 45 no votes?
Yeah, 45 no's, 24 Democrats. So we had at least 20 Republicans voting with us on that. And so, it was encouraging to see. And I know there were probably some others that probably felt like their district maybe was not supportive of this, but they felt like they had to. I know there are some members that just felt like this was probably the best deal that they were going to get, and they were afraid that maybe if it didn't pass this time, it was just going to get worse in the future. So I understand that mindset and where they were coming from.
It's my understanding that to a certain extent, the reason that we didn't hear from more of y'all on the floor today in opposition on the right side of politics has something to do with the rules. Yeah,
so the House rules that were put in place, again, I voted against. One of the things that's in there is it created a debate format that allowed only for 45 minutes from each party to speak. And so they could divide that 45 minutes however they wanted to, and the leader of each party would divvy that time out. And unfortunately for us, that's not really an equal balance, since we have 2/3 of the House is really our people. Splitting that up among 75 people is a lot more difficult than splitting it up amongst 24 Democrats. And so there were several Republicans I know that probably would have liked to have spoken today that just didn't have the opportunity to do so.
And is that time, the time spent by like the bill sponsors speaking and the leader Lambert speaking, is that also included in the amount of time that you guys get?
No, so there was a straight 45-minute block of time. Once we got past all of the amendments and we got down to the actual bill itself and debate started on the bill, it was just a straight up 45 minutes at a time. And it wasn't really set up for back and forth between opposing views and supporting views, because essentially the Democrats went for 45 minutes. They all said why they didn't like it. And then the Republicans got 45 minutes. And they all said why they did like it and why they were going to vote for it, with the exception of 2 members that got 2 minutes apiece. So 4 out of the 45 minutes were for folks in our party that did not support this. The rest of it was all for supporting members. I voted in favor of the other bills that came through. The immigration bill had a piece to it that I was actually working on and supporting anyway. I had a bill in the regular session with Leader Lambert regarding the driver's licenses for non-U.S. citizens. And so that got put into the special session immigration package. So I supported that as well. Pretty much voted for everything else that we did with the exception of the vouchers.
And that includes the budget, right?
Yes. So, that was the poison pill, right? The tough thing that you have to do is once the battle's lost and you fought hard over whether or not you're going to support the scholarship program, once that's lost, then you have to decide whether or not you're going to go ahead and support the budget package. So just like every year in the legislature, there's a lot of things I vote against that still get wrapped into the budget because they get passed by everybody else. And so you have to do yes or no on the entire budget package. So I would have loved for the opportunity for us to have split out the voucher funding, and for us that opposed it to have an opportunity to say also no to that as well. But that's just not the way it worked.
Well, thank you. I'm sure people will hopefully be a little more understanding of people's votes on the budget when they hear that explanation.
That's right. Yeah. So when you watch us try to get out of here at the end of the regular session in the spring, and we all vote for this funding package that has some things in it that we don't like, it's just kind of the way the game is played.
Anything else you want to cover about the special session or today?
No, I mean, just to say this, I'm very proud to support the 69th District and grateful for the outpouring of support that they've given me on this. They have made it abundantly clear, overwhelmingly clear, how they feel about this particular issue. And so I have no doubts whatsoever that I've done the right thing and voted for the way that my people wanted me to vote today.